you doing today? Julie Loken. Julie's up at the cabin today. Not the smartest guys in the room. We're talking viral videos. How you doing there, Tom? We're going to talk about viral videos today. And it was my friend Julie that said I should go into Clubhouse and put the title of what we are talking about in the title. So I made it Not the Smartest Guys in the Room viral video. Now, I think sometimes we might run out of characters, but that is what we're talking about. We're not sure if we're going to be here next week because Tom is having a baby very soon, and he said that he wasn't going to allow his baby to be the show and tell for next week. So, which would be very cool and very surprising if all of a sudden you held a 6 pound, 7 pound. I don't know how big babies are nowadays. So go on, Tom. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't. Just to be clear, my wife is having the baby. I'm just going to be there for moral support. She's doing all the hard work. But yeah, we're expecting, her due date is Monday. We're expecting, to have the baby, likely right around her due date. And so, yeah, there's a good chance, that next Wednesday, there's going to be an infant in the house. I like that. I don't know how big babies are these days, as if that's changed dramatically. It hasn't.
Come on, so many things change over, like, Julie Loken, you're our only mother here. So could you give us a range on baby sizes that you had, or is that too much to ask?
No, not at all. I had one that was 4 pounds, 4 ounces, and then one that was up to 8 pounds. So
all right. I said the range. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, typically, for a baby that is born full term, right, which is what we're talking about here, you're in the sort of like, 6 to 8 and change range, right? Like, and they can go a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. But that's sort of like where you are. They're estimating her weight right now at about 7 pounds, 8 ounces, about 7.5 pounds. So she's kind of right in the sort of middle of the range in terms of weight. But yeah, it depends, but that's the general range. It hasn't changed that much, I don't think, in the last 40 or 50 years. I was a little over 8 pounds when I was born. Again, like sort of high 6s to high 8s is sort of like the range that most people are in. So unless you're premature, like I'm talking about for full term babies. So yeah. So that's, we'll see what happens, but we've had some conversations about, and I was just telling you about this, Dom, before we got on, but we've had some conversations about this sort of like trend of parent creators, sort of leveraging their kids to grow followings on social media. And neither myself nor my wife are big fans of it. So we're not going to start out her life by putting her on a live on social media. So yeah, maybe the show and tell will be, will be, the blanket we brought her home in or something like that. But it won't be the baby. That's for sure.
Well, you could have made it famous right off the bat like Truman, but do your own thing. So this is Not the Smartest Guys in the Room. We do this every Wednesday. Today, besides talking about babies, we're talking about viral videos. So I'm going to say it right now, from Hawk 2 to pandas scratching their back. What is it that makes a viral video? Can you make a viral video? Should you shoot for viral video? What is it we love about them? All these things we're going to talk about. Okay, Billy says Billy put a skull and crossbones and is going to come up and talk. So Tom, go on. Your thoughts on that? We'll just go. We'll start the process.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. Obviously, the Haktua video has exploded everywhere, particularly on TikTok, but it's all over everywhere, on all social media platforms. There are variations of it, stitches with it, reposts of it, people imitating it, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's a good example. Especially like sort of right now, it's in everybody's mind. I think it's a good example of just how sort of fleeting and unpredictable virality is when it comes to videos, right? I guarantee you that woman, that young woman, when she was, I think they were outside of a bar or a club, right, getting interviewed on the street. I guarantee you that when that came out of her mouth, she had no idea, nor did the guy making the video have any idea that it was going to turn into what it turned into, right? They had no idea. It wasn't planned. It wasn't thought out. There are so many variables that go into, having a viral video, right? There are so many things that go into that becoming a reality that I think it's genuinely impossible to systematically create viral videos. You can create videos that get a lot of traction, right? You can create content that gets a lot of viewers, but to create something that like to intentionally create a viral video, I think is genuinely kind of impossible. And I think it's actually sort of like it doesn't fit with the definition of a viral video, right? Like in my mind, when you talk about a viral piece of content, you're talking about a piece of content that sort of took off without really any sort of solid explanation, right? I think just as easily that Haktua video could have just not been anything, right? Or it could have sat on that person's page or on their profile for 6 months before it got discovered and ended up gaining traction and going viral, right? So it's a little bit like, going after the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? Like you can try to make viral content, but the truth is that you'll probably never get to the end of the rainbow and you'll never find that pot of gold. So I think it's a bit of a fool's errand. And there's a ton of people that try to do it. They try to do it all the time. You'll see people even advertise and market that they professionally create viral videos. And I call BS. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's possible. I think it is antithetical to what viral content really is. You can't manufacture it. It has to happen sort of its own accord. And there are so many variables that go into it that it's impossible to replicate those circumstances. Right. And I think that's the true test of anything. Like if you're going to claim you can do it, then you have to be able to do it on a systematic basis, right? Like if you're going to claim you can create viral content, then like show me how you're creating a piece of viral content every 2 weeks or every week or every month or whatever you claim you can do. Show me, right? Like show me how you do it. Let me see it, right? Let me see the numbers. And I don't believe it, right? Like I call BS. So viral videos, I think, are cool and interesting, and they tell us a little bit about sort of what captures people's interest, and they can inform the decisions we make about the content that we create if we're doing it just to garner viewership, right? Or just to garner attention. But at the end of the day, I don't really pay attention too much to viral videos because, from my perspective, they don't tell me too much about what's going to help build community around a brand or what's going to help, a brand gain traction with their particular audience, right? They don't really inform that kind of content production. So I don't really pay too much attention to them. In fact, I had to have a friend show me the Haktua video because I kept seeing stitches of it and things about it popping up, and I had never seen the video. I had no idea what it was, and I hadn't even bothered to look it up.
I wonder if any business I wonder if any business truly has ever had a viral video, and by the nature of, do they come from the outside world, just something that people catch on to? Billy was the first one. He put a skull and crossbones up and raised his hand. So we're going to go straight to Billy Thorpe and see what he has to say about that. That sound good, Tom?
Sounds good to me.
What do you got, Billy?
Well, I think when you guys started talking about that Haktua video, I just was like, I'm dead. And it is that random. I mean, I agree with Tom. Like, I think there is like there's some production and there's some things that could in networking and things like that that could potentially get you. I mean, if you have the right system, potentially get you to fire off a little bit better on your videos. But I definitely agree that that it happens at random. And I don't know, I guess like virality depends on, for me, if I had a video with 10,000 views in my ecosystem as a content creator would be viral. I'd be like, oh, that's crazy. I actually had a TikTok video do over like 2.5 million views, or actually almost like I think it was like 2.8 million views in the first week. Now I think by definition, a real true viral video would be like 5 million plus.
Okay, so we
in a
wanted
matter
a
of
number. Me and Julie Loken were talking about that the other day. Is there a number for viral, Billy?
I mean, yeah, I think it's like anything that's like out of the norm, especially like, and depending on what you're talking about. But I think, if you like looked it up, I think it's somewhere around like 5 million within a certain amount of time, like the first 5 days or 7 days or whatever would technically be, viral. But once again, I don't think anybody knows, like whatever, like if it's, but I do think that I do think that it's not that you have to go viral, but I do think it can open up some doors for you to do some other things with that engagement in that content.
All right, Billy, I'm coming right in. I got rapid fire questions here. So, Billy, when you hit 2 million, 3 million, what did anything change for you? You said open doors. That number did it open any doors?
Yeah, so it opened a couple. So one, it was about an 18-pound coffee mug. So I made several $100s off of that post just from affiliate marketing stuff. So that opened up a nice little financial door. But then I had a new TikTok account. So it was like a newer account, a couple hundred followers. It got me past that 1,000 follower threshold to be able to go live and do some of those things. And then, that leads into other opportunities to create different types of content on the platform, which then can open up, some more a thing. So I don't necessarily I'm like Tom. I'm not like I didn't wake up today like I'm gonna see how many ideas I can come up with to make a viral video. I will say though, it doesn't take the video that went viral for us at I think it's at 2.9 million views right now with like thousands and thousands of comments. It wasn't planned. It was me and my wife goofing around in the kitchen. I make content professionally for brands, for product videos, and it was just like this bullshit iPhone. I think we did one shot, 45 seconds, and to this day, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That even why do people care? And it's the stuff that no one cares about. It's like you could put it's the internet. I mean, that's just the internet. It's like you put life-changing information on the internet, and everybody's like, "Me, that's cool," because it probably takes a little effort on their side to make that really take those principles and apply them. But then when you just give them some entertainment, it's like people are making fun of everything in that video. My dog's breathing, my arm size, saying I don't work out. It was like the countertops. Like, are they granite? Or are they not granite? It's like it was the craziest stuff that I reflect on those comments and go, huh, okay, you guys care about way different stuff than I do on the viewer side. So yeah. Anyway, I don't think it matters. I mean, it's fun to go viral. It's fun to see all those comments come in. It's fun to get all that engagement, get some followers. But even out of 2.8 million followers or whatever it was in the first week, I only got like 1,000, views. I only got like 1,000 followers out of it. So even on that side of it, and are those followers the people I want? The people who are grilling me in the comments about my arms being small? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I'd be willing to bet too, Billy, that at the end of the day, never in a million years would you have planned out or set up that video to be created. Like it probably, like you said, it was just a goof, right? And you were just messing around in the kitchen and all of a sudden it just sort of took off. And that's what I'm talking about, like with this, like how unpredictable it is, right? That it is sort of by nature unpredictable. That you kind of never know exactly what's going to take off. You can, if you're in the realm of a style of content that people enjoy or is very popular at the moment, is there a greater chance that that'll take off? Sure, but there's no way to sort of manufacture virality. I don't believe, right, and I don't think it's something that we should actively pursue. Yeah. So yeah. So thanks for sharing that, Dom. What do you think?
Two things on that. One, this is interesting because we're all in this world where we're creators, and you put stuff out on mission, on brand, and then if you are creating for business, for marketing, for personal branding, whatever you're doing, sometimes you do never know. Like I had, like, let's say me and my daughter playing basketball, and all of a sudden, like 2 years later, I'll get a hit on YouTube and say, like, it went from 100, from 10 to 100 to 100 to 1,000 to 1,000 to 10, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Or like on a different, my biggest was, I think, about 240,000 on TikTok, where what made all of a sudden, I make content all the time, what made on this given day one piece of random content get that kind of I don't know if it, not even reality, but that reach, what made it get that kind of reach? And Billy, the only thing I got out of it was more followers, like you're saying. So, and then the question is, are they the right followers? Because let's say you use the trending music. Let's say they all of a sudden wanted to make fun of Billy's arms or something like that, and that's why it went viral. Well, then if you're branding yourself, I do this, and then all of a sudden in the video it was a cute song. Well, did the audience you gained really, they want a different kind of content than you're producing? So now you produce the content, you got more followers, and they don't like the content that you're producing because they're looking for something else. It's a slippery slope, though. Okay, so this is not the smartest guys in the room. We're talking viral videos. I wanted to talk about this panda scratching its back too. I mean, I noticed, I looked up panda scratching its back the other day after I saw this new panda scratching its back, and there's like honestly, there's a viral video every like 6 months of pandas scratching their backs at a different zoo. So go on, Tom, and then let's get around the room to some viral video talk.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I've seen the exact video that you're talking about, because there are so many panda videos that float around, which I personally kind of think are hilarious. I also enjoy a good sort of fail video. But the ones that I always see, like, I love when people sort of intro panda videos and they're like, how have pandas even survived? Right? Like, how do they even exist as a species? Like, when you watch them, they'll just be, there's videos of them falling out of trees. There's videos of them. Like, I think one of the ones that went viral like a number of years ago was the baby panda sneezing and scaring the crap out of the mom, like the mother panda. So yeah, I think they're funny for sure. But again, I think it's silly, and there's no telling. Like, there's panda videos floating around all the time that, and maybe the one that went viral has been posted online for a couple of years. Like, that's the thing too, is like, things can be posted for years, and then all of a sudden somebody finds it, they share it, somebody else shares it, it just like snowballs. It just happens at just the right time that it snowballs, and all of a sudden you got a viral piece of content, right? Or a viral video. So yeah, I'm with you though. I think the panda videos are funny, but again, I don't think there's really a good rhyme or reason to it. I don't think it can be systematized.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is it even, can a business? So Howard, what thoughts on viral video as a creator? Can you incorporate them in the business? Is it not possible? Do we just like to check them out because they're funny and make us smile? What do you got, Howard?
Hey, Billy, Tom, Dominic, everyone, good morning. Thanks. And by the way, Dominic, full disclosure, I'm a big Justin Fields fan. Putting that aside, yeah, I'm looking at it more from, trying to shepherd and build an emerging brand. And yeah, we've done, attempts, and of course we failed early on as a business because we really didn't know what we were doing. But one of the challenges is when you have something go viral that one of your customers or an influencer that's out there picks up on your product and you don't realize it. And it actually causes some business implications. I mean, as great as it is, and it's been net positive. So I don't want to sound like, hey, this is definitely a negative experience. But when you have an unplanned event where an influencer who's got like 8 million followers on YouTube picks up your product organically, starts talking about it, and at first you're trying to figure out, where's this surge of traffic coming to your website? Where are these sales coming from? Billy, we have damaged our Amazon business because it basically took us out of stock. And then suddenly the ramifications from a supply chain standpoint, it's pretty significant when you suddenly go viral as a brand. You weren't ready for it, but you don't have all the product that everyone's now demanding to get fulfilled in time. So Amazon, you get damaged because when you run out of stock on Amazon, you essentially lose your product listing, and then you get dinged from an algorithm standpoint when you're finally back in stock. And then more importantly, from a customer experience, this day in social media, now, it's like we can't catch up fast enough. And now you've got customers out on social media posting reviews about, yeah, I ordered the product, but it took them a long time to get it to me. And that definitely was not one of our goals. So from that standpoint, there is a little bit of a double-edged sword, especially when it's an unplanned event. On a positive note, though, from the standpoint of getting greater brand exposure, this has led to actually a major retail placement in the last 60 days. Because of that visibility. So it's definitely net, I think in the long run is helping us build our brand. But short term, there's definitely been a lot of bumps and a lot of lessons learned that we weren't planning initially. And I'll land it there, but thanks for asking.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Howard, that you bring up, that there is, while it can definitely be net positive, for a business, there are some downsides, right, to going viral, that it's not all positive. And I think that's one of the things that often people forget, is that they look at it as this sort of goal that they want to attain or achieve. Like, we want our business or our brand or our product or whatever to go viral. There's some bad that goes with the good that can come from that. So I think, that's a good point that you bring up, for sure. Who we got up next is Dom. Are we up to Mary Lynn?
What do we got here? We got, okay.
Have you got your order? Because our orders are a little bit different. So I'm just.
No. Well, welcome, Mary Lynn from Breakfast of Champions. We got Lauren Hill, Phil Hill, our main man, Julie Loken in the house, John, my buddy Jimmy, Ajay, Danny, Jamani. If you want to come up to the stage, Mary Lynn's waving at us. Very good, Mary Lynn. So, we appreciate everybody for being here. You could choose 1,000 other places to be. We get that. And so if you're watching on LinkedIn or anywhere we live stream or here on Clubhouse, thank you, because me and Tom agree that our conversation, we rode 15 hours in a car together. The conversation wasn't that great, just me and him. So without each of you being here,
it definitely was not 15 hours of broadcast worthy conversation. That's for sure.
No, I did this in high school. I did it better. I did this 20 years ago. I did it too.
I mean, I enjoyed it, but I had fun. But I wouldn't necessarily record it all and put it on the internet for people to watch.
Probably not.
Yeah. Hey, it would not have gone viral, I don't think.
Yeah, it would not have gone. Hey, I want to propose two thoughts. So when we talk about like this in a business plan going viral, a lot of authors will send people books, and maybe it hits, maybe it doesn't. A lot of business people send people product, just like you're mentioning there. Maybe that person who is famous or whatever uses that product. And I will say, one of my dear friends, he did not send them, but he had Justin's almond butter, and all of a sudden Kim Kardashian tweeted about his product 10 years ago. Ashton Kutcher tweeted about it, and it got on Oprah's Favorite Things. And then years later, he sold the business for $286 million. But it took, it did not hurt that, but to Howard's point, he did not have the infrastructure when that first happened. And it opened some doors for him, but the infrastructure wasn't there. Then he got into Starbucks, got into Whole Foods, but he had a smart team around him. He had a product that was tasty. So each of us, you better have a product first, and then, or else you're in a world of hurt. Go on, Tom.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, like, it clearly created some challenges for him that he was able to deal with, right, to manage and to overcome, obviously, right? But yeah, like, well put. And to your point, like, and to Howard's point, it does create challenges, right? Like, going viral as a business is not all upside. It's going to create some challenges, and often you can overcome those challenges and it ends up being net positive, right? But that's not a guarantee, right? And going viral is not a guarantee. Like, are there things you can do to gain more traction? Absolutely. But like, again, I'm going to keep beating on this drum, right? Like, can you manufacture virality? I don't think so. I don't think you can. I don't think you can. So yeah. So with that said, our friend John J. Wiley has joined us. Obviously not focused on video, as we know, but focused on different kinds of content, and specifically, has been very successful growing his audio content and his radio show. So John, what do you think about trying to go, because you can go viral, as an audio clip, right? You could have a piece of content go viral on Facebook. So John, what do you think about virality? Is it possible to manufacture, or what's your take?
The only way I say is to be possible to have it happen, to manufacture, is you got to be posting. And a quote from someone else: if you post 0% of the time, you get zero chance of going viral. If you post all the time, you get a slim chance of going viral. If you post a little bit, you got very little chance of going viral. What I've had go viral more than anything are static images. I do have some videos, but they're videos that are public domain videos that are fairly fresh that I can use. But as far as creating content, my biggest problem is anything that I used to do in the past, video-wise, creating content with me created a lot more work and very little response, very little return. Almost no return. So there are some people who are really good at it. I am not. So what I focus more on is speed. And lately, I'm finding that a static image post with a small caption, no link, is going the number one most viral. Number two is just a text only with no link, asking a question, statement, using a background from Facebook, for example. They do better than anything else, and then videos. But some videos do great, some not so much, and some are a total waste of effort. So for me, it's really about time. So in short time, I'd say to manufacture virality, which can be a benefit and can be a drawback. The biggest drawback is the amount of time it takes to create the content. But if you're not posting, you got zero chance, zero.
Yeah, agreed, John. I mean, obviously, yeah, if you're gonna, I think that's a good point. You can't, I think the other thing too is you have to be consistent. Like, not only do you have to post, but I think you have to be active, right? You have to be consistently active in order to even increase the likelihood that any of your content is going to sort of take off, right? Is you have to be consistently active on social media or on the internet, right? Creating content, sharing content, and sharing posts, whatever those may be, right? For some people, it's video. For some people, it's it's text or image content, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, if you're gonna win the game, you have to be in the game, right, to start with. So good point there. What do you think, Dom?
This is the world I live in. I couldn't agree more. I'm as a publisher of books, I make my living publishing books. But all of us right now are on an online social audio platform. So I just have this belief, if you're not in these other places, you could be lost. When people are in these other places, if like Tom has a book called Legendeering and he's in production, if he's not in these other places where people are, do they find you? And so that's why I think it's so important to be these other places. Like John, I'm 100%. You got to keep shooting your shot. Shoot the shot. Shoot the shot. Shoot the shot. If you're not shooting the shot, you have no chance. But I do not think that going viral is a business plan. I hate the idea of going viral being a business plan. I'm going to get on Oprah. I'm going to do this. Set a strong foundation, set pillars of your business, make a good product, write a good story. Then once you do that, if you go viral, like John, he keeps producing the content, he'll go viral. And then when people find him, they're like, wow, this is a great show. This is great content. I had one friend that was making YouTube videos and he spent all this time editing and he could make shoes disappear and things like that. It was like, he'd be like, poof. And he'd do all this cool stuff. And then he didn't have a business. He didn't know why he was doing it. He just liked making cool videos about random stuff. And then he ran out of random stuff to talk about. And he was like, I'm done with this. I haven't went viral yet. I ran out of stuff to talk about because there wasn't like a basis to his business model or anything like that. So not the smartest guys in the room. Julie Loken, content going viral. Go on, Tom.
Well, I was just going to say, like, I think you said you hate going viral as a business plan. I would say going viral is a business plan in the same way that winning the lottery is a retirement plan, right? Like I think that's a really kind of clear analogy to draw for people, like a clear metaphor that it is that likely for you to be able to successfully do that, right? So just something that, like, it popped into my head. I wanted to throw it out there before I lost the thought. But yeah, going viral as a business plan is like, winning the lottery is your retirement plan. Like, it's not going to work for you. It's not a good plan. It's not a good plan. What do you think, Julie? What do you think about going viral? No, Julie's not there. Okay.
She's probably creating videos. She's up at the lake. Oh,
I'm sorry. No, I'm here. I just.
We probably thought you were making water skiing videos or something up at the lake, trying to go viral. Go on.
I love that analogy to the lottery. I mean, that is like brilliant, actually. And I've never gone viral. So, I mean, what is viral? That's my question.
Billy had said earlier he thought it was 5 million, but then somebody said, which I like better, atypical of your common production. So if I'm seeing 200 views, 200, this is what I would consider a business plan. If I'm consistently putting out 200, 500, 1,000, talking about views, impressions, whatever you want to say. I know John would say impressions are, but whatever analytic you are measuring that you are comfortable with, hearts, comments, whatever. All of a sudden, one of your pieces of content, and I'm talking business-wise, we're in the vein you want to be in. All of a sudden, that one gets 5,000, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever the number is. What is different about that? Was it you asked a leading question? Was it that you tried video and you hadn't done video and all your content was static images? You hadn't tried static images. Maybe maybe like all of a sudden I'm putting up more video lately with no link. You'll see more direct video, no link. I know link punish me, so I'm putting up, but I'm still going to give you videos with links. So that's what I would what different than what you're doing, and then check those results and see if you can duplicate it. Thoughts on that, Mrs. Loken?
No, I think that's great. So I've gone viral many times then, if that's the definition.
Dom's definition. There you go.
Yeah, Dom's definition. But thinking about it, I think the first time you do a reel or do a short, I think the algorithm is to like get you addicted and have a huge viewership or whatever impression number, so you keep coming back because they want you to be addicted to their platform. Thank you.
100%.
I'm not very schooled on this topic.
Preach, Julie Loken.
Let's
There is
step out
no
there.
doubt. There is no doubt, 100%, that you can go in, unless you're making complete junk, you can go into your first 10 videos, first 100 videos, 20, and you're going to see this anomaly in those first videos where they definitely tried to get you addicted to the dopamine fix. So go on. Tom, do you have something to add there?
Well, I was just going to say, so I just wanted to pull it up because we started talking about this specific video, the Haktua video, right? That has been clipped. So it was originally a YouTube video that's like 13 minutes long, right? It's these two guys that sort of do public interviews, right? It was part of their public interview series, and they do them outside of bars and nightclubs and stuff like that. So they tend to get, kind of funny stuff. People are out, they've had a couple of drinks, they say funny things, they do silly stuff, right? And that's they give silly answers to things. That's the kind of content that they create primarily. Now, this video that we started talking about, the Haktua video, has 3.5 million views in 9 days on YouTube. 3.5 million views in 9 days on YouTube. Their second most popular video has 135,000 views in 5 months, right? So like, I think when we talk about a piece of content going viral, that is the difference, right? I mean, we are talking on a magnitude, like an exponential jump in sort of viewership. And if you just look on a timeline, the last video, they haven't posted a video before that video. They hadn't posted a video in 4 months, right? They might have been posting shorts and reels and whatever, but they hadn't posted a full-length video in 4 months. And the last time they posted an interview video, it was 5 months ago, and that's the one that got 135,000 views. So, it gives you an idea that like this is a complete anomaly. They did not plan for this. They didn't script this. They didn't schedule this. They literally had it happen, and it started to take off, and they probably tried to capitalize on that. Now, I happen to know also, I saw an excerpt from a video or from an interview that the Haktua girl did on a podcast, and she is sort of like planning a whole merch line and a whole bunch of other stuff on the heels of this. Now, I think that this is going to be, a rapid acceleration. She's going to make some money, and it's going to flame out quick, right? Depending on what she does, but in most cases, that's what happens with these things, right? Because it's hard to translate a viral video into a sustainable business. So I just wanted to share that based on what I found just doing some quick Google research and looking up the original video and seeing how many views it had. In this case, that's what we're talking about. Is we're talking about a piece of content that's more than 10 times their average viewership. Or 10 times their previous max viewership, I should say, probably not even their average viewership. So anyway, Phil, our friend Phil here, also a content creator, makes videos all the time. Phil, what do you think about oh, Howard, did you have something you wanted to chime in with quick before we go to Phil? No?
He's running a counter on how many times. We need somebody to play this back, replay, or on any of the other places we're streaming this, and see how many times Tom has said Hawk 2 today, like a Hawk 2, ding, ding, ding. And we're probably
a Hawk 2 counter.
Yes, and we are probably shadow banned on all these other places now. So, okay, Phil, what do you got? Tom wants answers from you.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Dom. I think these videos, I think it's purely entertaining. but it brings really not much value to. It's like sitting on a Sunday night watching the America's Top Video thing and seeing who's going to be the winner. It's just entertainment. And that Hot Tua thing, which I haven't ever seen, and first of all, I've never created a viral video, but I've watched them. I would say the most valuable thing in that whole thing is that this young lady or whoever, I'm assuming the video was a bit embarrassing, but now that she's worldwide famous, she might as well make a few bucks with the merch. That's the most valuable thing out of it, that she'll make a few dollars. It may fizzle out along the way. But in the reality, I don't want to find myself watching too many viral videos because I'm just a little too old and don't have much time for that kind of stuff. It doesn't bring me value and help.
Phil, you don't want to see pandas scratching their backs? That's valuable.
No.
Okay, go on.
No, maybe a cat slapping a dog or something, goofy stuff. The raccoon stealing kitty chow out of a bowl in a garage or something. I get a kick out of some of that, but when I'm still trying to grow businesses and monetize content and other things, you watch one, you watch another, and they took you down the doggone viral rabbit hole, and it's wasted your time. Whereas on the other hand, I heard Howard talking, there's some business sides of things, and it could pump your business up if you have something that's going to drive, and it could be very well. So here's the thing I'm thinking, a couple of things. Maybe it's like, is this viral thing like the tortoise and the hare? The tortoise hare meaning like, it's just steady growth on your content, growing your numbers, growing your viewers, growing everything, and instead of just trying to hit the viral one. Or could it be in baseball? If you are hit a home run, everybody wants to hit a home run. But if you're just swinging for the fences all the time and you can't show your team that you can get a decent batting average every year, you won't be in the big leagues. And business-wise, I think it's important that we just constantly grow. You guys heard those things where they say it's better to have sometime 1,000 loyal YouTube subscribers that might be into a membership group or on your email list that can make you a living versus having 100,000 of who knows what kind of subscribers that are just fluff. So that's how I look at viral. I hope to get one day, but the reality is, let me get some singles, doubles. Let me make some money on the everyday folks. And if I hit a home run, you guys come and cheer for me.
We got you, brother. We will be there for you when that day comes. And if you keep shooting your shot, Howard, you flashed off before, and Tom wanted to know if you had a question. Then we're going to go to Mary Lynn. Did you have a question, Howard?
Oh, no, sorry about that. Keep going.
Okay. Mary Lynn from Breakfast of Champions, and she's got another place I go. I watched Breakfast of Champions in the afternoon the other day, but I'm looking at a profile picture, and she has a 4th of July cowboy hat on here. So she is in the spirit. Viral videos, Mary Lynn, what do you think?
Well, first, yes, it's my tradition every year. I get a new 4th of July hat, so I love my 4th of July hats, and maybe one day one will go viral, but I don't really do much social media. It's terrible, I know, but I did hear one thing I really liked. Somebody said in it, and it's been said before, and so I can't remember exactly, but I know I heard it in Breakfast with Champions, of course. I think it was Rocky, possibly, that if you're going to go viral, to make sure it's something, and to Phil's point, that resonates with your audience. Because if you go viral, okay, so you're Billy, right? And you do fishing, and you decide to go viral for cooking pancakes, and you have all these people who like your content because they love pancakes. They're going to be really disappointed when you go back to that saltwater fishing or whatever, just on his street. And I was joking with him yesterday that he does a fishing show, just like, how did he pick that niche? So I think if you're going to go viral, don't go viral just to go viral. Make sure the content at least resonates. Nothing wrong with trying, but make sure it's true to who you are. So when you do get the followers, they're not like, well, this isn't resonating. And then losing followers actually hurts your algorithm. So that would be my take.
Yeah, good stuff. We agree with what you're saying, and I think I know let's say the video that I had that hit 240,000. It was me and my daughter making slime. So yes, that's feel good smile, because I try to put out inspiration, positivity, and smiles every day. And it's just me and her having fun. But on the other hand, I help people write stories and share their message. So when they see now a 40-some-year-old guy come up with this weird voice and he's not making slime, are people like, this is boring. We want more slime. So Mary Lynn, agree with what you're saying. Tom, you said, go on, Mary Lynn.
Slime will make you go, it's crazy. I got all of a sudden, for some reason, I bought my niece's slime, and there are so many viral slime videos. It blew my mind. So that is crazy. You mentioned that. Back to you, Dominic.
Make slime. That's our tip today. Tom, okay, you said somebody had a question in the comments. Go on.
Well, no. I think let's do show and tell. And then Lauren posted a comment. She had to jump out, but she posted a comment before she left. So let's do show and tell, and then we'll talk about Lauren's comment right after that.
Okay, I gotta go. I'm gonna go grab this.
For anybody watching this, Dom just got up and walked away. Are you running away from show and tell, or are you getting
show and tell? You act like I can just sit these special things right beside me, and all you people would see it beforehand. So Tom, sometimes today's show and tell, and my friend Jimmy saw this weekend, and Jim's there. So I sometimes say things are the greatest, and Tom will say they weren't the best sunglasses, or my headphones, that I had headphones one day that weren't, they were like, he said they looked like they were from a Delta plane, and that they gave away free. So when I say something is the greatest, Tom doesn't always necessarily believe. But today I am going to pull out the greatest radio of all time. So
in your opinion.
In my opinion, but I will tell you why this thing is such a beaut. This radio, it was my mom's, and she had it in her home, and my mom passed in the last year. But this radio is probably from like early 1990s, and I am outside often, and I don't always want to listen to like the music on my phone. I don't always want to be a DJ. Sometimes I just want to listen to like the baseball game or something like that. So this bad boy right here, still got a CD player on top, 2 speakers. It is fantastic, and it blows out my backyard, and I can only have to turn it halfway up. And then what I wanted to tell you about this special radio, Tom, this weekend there was a graduation party for my son. In the middle, almost like a tornado came through, and this was out in the rain. It went off, and people doubted that it would ever work again. The next day and the day after that, it's back and better than ever. I'm listening to baseball games. So this Sony, whatever year it was produced, is the greatest radio of all time, Tom.
So you just said it's back and better than ever. So are you claiming that the rain made it better?
Yes, even clearer. If there was any dust in it, rain dusted the whole thing, and now it's crisper and clearer. My neighbors probably want to come down and hang out with me now.
So you heard it here first, folks. Dom says that if your electronics are dusty, just wash them off with water. That's what he's recommending. I mean, look, I totally get, I totally hear the nostalgic value of it, right? That it was your mom's, and she had it, and she used it and listened to it, and now you have it and you use it and you listen to it. I get that you don't want to be the DJ all the time. There's ways around that as well. But either way, I would say if it works for you, great. I would venture to guess that the sound quality is not up to the best standards. I'm actually shocked that the antenna isn't bent, because that's like usually one of the first things to go on those collapsible those collapsible steel antennas get bent, and then they're practically useless.
Can we get can you mind? I would like, if anybody in the comments wants to flash or on wherever, what year? I found the year on this. What year you think it was made? This is, it looks like a boombox. It was my mom. So anybody in the comments, or if you want to blurt it out, a year. So
I'm going to say 94.
Anybody else? What do you got?
I can't see it, but I guess 85.
I was going with 83 to 87. So
well, it's got a CD player.
Oh,
And a tape deck.
89.
91.
Oh. Okay. Well, Tom, I didn't even realize it had a tape deck. I'm going to find some tapes. Tom was right. 1994, rocking out. So 94 to 24. That's, what is that? 30 years
30
of goodness?
Yeah.
30 years of kick-assness.
Well,
Billy, you should do a video of that.
For the record, that was not staged. That was not planned. I could not read the bottom of it. I genuinely guessed 94. But I guessed because that was around, what was I in 94? I was like, I was coming up on 16. I turned 16 in 1994. And that was right towards where, like, kind of CDs had fully taken off and cassettes weren't sold very much anymore, but people still had cassettes. Right. I mean, like, CDs had completely taken over. But yeah, people still had cassettes in 1994. So that was why I guessed that. So it was just, for the record, that was not set up. That was not staged. Dom didn't text it to me or something like that. I genuinely guessed.
No, you did not. Okay, Tom. So we're back on Not the Smartest Guys in the Room. We're talking viral videos today. You said I saw 1955 and 1989 here. You said there was a comment that you wanted to discuss. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so Lauren Erickson, who was in here before, who works in the marketing space and specifically works with folks to help promote books. And in book marketing, working with authors. She said, and I'll just read it out. Have to pop out, but I believe going viral is like attempting to hit the New York Times bestseller list. There's no exact way of knowing how to go viral, but you can certainly concentrate specific tactics to increase your chances. But if you get it, what will you do with it? Right. And so I wanted to address that because I think I agree with the sort of overall sentiment, but I just want to say, like, one thing about the New York Times bestseller list is we know exactly how you can get on the New York Times bestseller list, right? Like, it's hard, but we know the number, right? The minimum number is 5,000 sales of your book in a week from a diverse geographic area and a diverse section of retailers. So, i.e., it has to be from a diverse geographic area, like all over the country or in different parts of the country, et cetera. And those sales have to come from, have to be geographically diverse, which means you can't have one person or one organization in one state buy 5,000 copies of your book, right? That's why that's the way it is. And it also has to be from a diverse set of retailers, i.e., it can't be one organization goes in and buys from one retailer. So if your book is only available on Amazon, you can't make the New York Times bestseller list, right? So we have an idea. Now, it's not easy to make the New York Times bestseller list. I'm not saying that it is. It's very, very hard to do, and people work very hard to try to do it and still don't succeed, right? So it's difficult, but we know exactly how to attain it, right? So I just wanted to highlight that because I think while I agree with the sentiment that Lauren is expressing, I think it's important to point out that we do not know exactly how to gain virality through content online. But I think she does bring up a good point then. Like, if you get it, what are you going to do with it? Right. And I think that's an important thing, is like, why are you pursuing it? Why do you want it? Why do you want to go viral? Right. Like, that's an important question to ask yourself. I'm a big fan of intentionality in what you do. And so you should always be asking yourself, what end am I working towards? And I think it's important that you do the same thing if you're creating content, right? Or trying to get on the New York Times bestseller list for that reason. Why? What do you hope to accomplish? What is the end result that you're after, right? Because the New York Times bestseller list shouldn't be the end result. It should be an intermediary result that helps you get to where you want to go, right? And I think, creating content that gains traction similarly should be an intermediary result that gets you to where you want to go. So think, what's the bigger vision, right? What are you trying to accomplish? So anyway, I just wanted to hit on that because it was in the chat. And I just wanted to make sure we talked about it real quick. I think Lauren's a bright person and has some good insight. So I wanted to make sure we talked about what she mentioned there. So what do you say, Dom? Quick round the horn. Everybody, just give us a I don't know, what should we say? Just give us let's try to think of like a yes/no, a quick
Here's what I
yes/no
got.
about viral content.
What do you look for in your content? Like basic one line. So I'll start for an example. When I'm looking for content, lifts my spirits, helps me grow.
All right. So I think I would refine that even further, right? What is the single most important thing to you in the content that you consume? Right? Like, what's the one thing? Pick it. One thing. What is the most important thing to you? And I'll go with mine. It's leading with value. It's providing value. That's the most important thing to me. So let's go around the room. Dom, you take the reins on the order.
Okay, let's do it. Julie Loken, content you consume, single most important thing. 3, 2. She's on the jet ski. I knew that. John J, what is it?
I very rarely consume other people's content on social media. But the one thing I look for from them and what I strive for is an emotional response.
Gotcha. Good stuff. Phil, content you consume, what is it? What are you looking for?
Helpful.
Helpful. Good one. Marilyn, what do you got in your fancy hat?
I like fancy laughs. No, my content's usually entertainment. I do like to support other people's content, like who inspire me, but mainly if I'm scrolling and liking and something's viral, it's for entertainment or laughter.
Okay, good stuff all. Thank you. Tom, now you have to put how many times can Tom say, Dr. Tachi, you jumped in. Tom's about to do his wrap up. He's already said Hawk 2 about 35 times because we're talking about viral videos today. We determined that it is not a good business plan. So Tom, go on.
Thanks, Dom. Hawk, I almost let off by saying Hawk 2 and I wasn't even ready for it yet. Going viral is not a good business plan. Going viral is a good business plan, as I said before, in the same way that winning the lottery is a good retirement plan, right? It's not something you should or can count on, so you shouldn't. So I guess the question is, what should you do instead? And here's what I think you should do instead. Rather than chasing the end of that rainbow, trying to find that pot of gold in virality, right? What I think you should do is get to know your audience, figure out who your audience is, what they need or want, and then provide them with that value. That value can come in the form of entertainment. It can come in the form of helpful information, right? As Phil mentioned, it can come in the form of education, right? It can come in the form of all manner of things. People find all kinds of different things valuable, right? But what does your audience value? What do they need? What do they want? And what can you supply them, right? And then focus on creating content that delivers value, laughs, smiles, knowledge, information, whatever the case may be, to your audience, right? Focus on creating audience first content, and doing that will help you gain traction, grow your audience, build a community around your content. And if the content you're creating is for a brand, now I'm biased. I kind of wrote a book on this called Legendaring that Dom mentioned earlier. But if your content is for your brand, then I highly recommend you grab a copy of Legendaring, read through it, and use it as a framework to inform your content strategy. Create content that delivers value to your audience, and then simply tie that value to your brand. No strings attached, just sign the card. Deliver the gift and sign the card. And that's it. That's all you got to do, right? That will help you gain traction. That will help you grow community. That will help you build an audience of raving fans that will support you as you move forward and continue to stay engaged with you and your content as you grow as a business. So, that's all I got for today. That's the wrap up. We likely will not be here next week because I will most likely be either trying to catch a couple of Z's or have been awake all night with our newborn who will likely be in the house with us next week. So we won't be here next week, but we will catch up with you guys soon. We promise. We'll send out, we'll share the room here on Clubhouse. We'll send out notifications across social media when we're going to pick this up again. It'll likely be in 2 weeks. But until then, I hope you all have a great 4th of July coming up tomorrow. Hope you have a great 4th of July. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy the fireworks, enjoy the barbecues, have a good celebration. And we will see you guys soon at the next iteration of Not the Smartest Guys in the Room, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, most Wednesdays here on Clubhouse and streaming live across the internet. Until we see you again, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of the community. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye.